Have you ever wondered why it's only a few gospel songs from Nigeria that have been able to gain much attention from non-African, non-Black people or nationalities across the world? In this video, I'm going to explain to you why that is the case, and I'm going to share from my experience the things we should put into consideration when writing songs and how we can gain the attention of non-African people. Let's get right into it. The language in which a song is written to a very large extent determines the audience of the song. So if you write a song, let's say in Yoruba language, for instance, the vast majority of people who would appreciate the song would be Yoruba people. Now imagine when people do not have a connection to the Yoruba language, to African culture, hear the song, it's just a few persons that would really vibe or appreciate the song. And that is why Nigerian artists, gospel artists to be specific, have to pay attention to the language of the songs that they write. Otherwise, they are not going to gain much attention internationally. Let me give you a practical example. Just before I recorded this video, a friend of mine sent me the screenshot of part of the lyrics of Mercy Chinwo's song, which is Chinedu. And it's this part where she says, "Your grace embarrasses me." Of course, that was written in the pidgin language. But for someone who is not Nigerian, who is not even African, they cannot understand the idea of God's grace causing some embarrassment. But for someone from Nigeria who understands pidgin English would definitely know what that means. That's one of the frictions, the difficulties for our songs to penetrate beyond our immediate culture or Black culture. Then another thing is grammar. This isn't a major problem, but I've heard a few songs from Nigerian gospel artists and then you hear some grammatical blunders. I feel it's important that the lyrics of songs should be checked before the songs are eventually recorded and then released. The next thing is the pronunciation of words. It goes without saying that English is not our mother tongue. We do not get the pronunciation of a lot of words right. Now, when you ship a song or you send a song to a friend who is non-Black, non-African, they might not be that patient or lenient to hear such a song because of the pronunciation. I'm not talking about accent this time around, no. And it is important that songs are, like I said previously, written in standard English and we use standard expressions. Certain expressions that we use in Nigeria that we understand, sometimes when people from other countries hear them, they just don't really get it. For instance, in Christian circles, we would say, "Oh, we had a great program. I haven't recovered from it." I think I've used that expression in the past and someone was wondering, what do you mean by that? The next important limitation or friction that makes it difficult for our songs to penetrate other cultures is denominational slant. And let me explain what that is. A lot of our Nigerian gospel artists are of the same denominational stream. Most of them go to Pentecostal churches, and they are similar in many ways. When I mention names like Nathaniel Bassey, Dunsi Oyekon, and the list goes on, you see that there are certain things that are common to them. So I'm speaking of speaking in tongues specifically, and you realize that a lot of people outside of Nigeria, outside of Africa, do not understand speaking in tongues the way most Nigerians do. They understand it differently. Some don't even believe in speaking in tongues to start with. Some believe in the cessation of the gifts, the spirit. And when you are making songs, you are starting out with speaking in tongues. Within the song itself, the middle, and maybe even the end of the song, sometimes it really makes it difficult to share these songs. And I guess a lot of non-African people will not enjoy the song because of that reason. For some of you who might have seen the video some time ago, Papa Christian Life Church had a conference for young people and they invited Dunsi Oyekon. You'd realize that in that very ministration, he did not speak in tongues throughout. And a lot of things, chants that he usually does in his live ministrations and all that, those things were minimized. It was deliberate. It wasn't by chance because he understood that his normal way of doing things and singing is not typically accepted within that environment. And the point is this: if we're going to have our songs penetrate other cultures, then we need to pretty much minimize these things that would be contentious. Now, another example to look at is the Waymaker song by Snatch. This is a song that has become a global anthem amongst Christians and churches and what. But you realize that throughout the song, of course, it was sung in standard English, and then the idea of speaking in tongues only came at the end. But I should say that the song did not become popular because of Sinach's original recording of it, but it only became popular after some other bands had taken up the song. So this idea of speaking in tongues, I think we can do away with it. Maybe it should be something you do privately in your prayers, but if you are thinking of singing to get to the whole world, it shouldn't be in our songs. So the last thing I'm going to say, which comes like an advice, is the this. If your song cannot be a part of a worship set in a non-Nigerian, non-African church setting, then that song is not going to fly. It's not going to gain acceptance amongst the non-African people. This is something very important that Nigerian songwriters and producers should put into mind. So please, I need you to share in the comments why you think some of our songs do not enjoy much attention from non-African, non-Black people.